Hello, this is Carlos from the Church of Christ channel. Please subscribe. So today I want to do 4 myths and 4 truths of outgrowing people. And this is not to say that you outgrow somebody and stop loving people, but you outgrow traits of spiritual ruin, of going down the wrong path of not living the fruitful life that God has you to be. And we'll talk about it. So let's go over some myths, okay? Myth number 1. If I make more money than someone, I've automatically outgrown them. Now, of course, we have goals of making money and all of that kind of stuff, but that ultimately does not equal outgrowing somebody, okay? It can become arrogance. It can become pride, okay? And money doesn't necessarily change maturity. It just reveals what's already in the heart. And so we see even some foolish people that have a lot of money. You know what I mean? So if making and earning more doesn't mean you've outgrown people. You have friends or family that may not make as much money as you, but that doesn't mean that you've outgrown them. Okay? Number 2, a career upgrade means you've leveled up past your old circle. Okay? Again, this is a myth. All right? Because there are times when we get good jobs, and there are times when we get laid off, all right? And then it's like you may not have the same opportunity that you did after you got laid off. And what a time this is now that we've seen this, okay? So a career upgrade is good. I'm not saying that it, is bad. But did you build your character along with it, okay? Sometimes people confuse success with separation, and that's not always the case, all right? Especially as Christians and people of God, like our goal is unity, showing people that we love one another, okay? Can't do that and these things and say you've outgrown somebody, okay? This is a big one. Marriage means you can't stay close to your single friends. And I want to clarify, I'm not necessarily saying that, you don't have different responsibilities, because you do. But again, as we'll talk about, and I'll clarify in the truths, this statement, okay? Number 4, being in a different season means you spiritually outgrown somebody. Okay? Again, that's not true. Okay? Maturity, also often comes in many different stages. But, just being in a different season doesn't necessarily mean that you've outgrown somebody. Okay? Now, when we talk about the truths of outgrowing people, I want you to pay close attention to what I put on focus on. Focus on character, focus on maturity level, and focus on truth. Now, remember I talked about marriage, okay? If you are a married couple that's striving for God's light and maturity, you can't hang around single friends that are not the same, that don't respect that particular union, okay? So that's an example. But let's get back to this, okay? Look at number 1. Walking in light for God versus walking in darkness, all right? Walking in light for God versus walking in darkness, okay? So, and that's important because, as a Christian, that's what we strive to do. In striving for Jesus, we strive to walk in the light as he is in the light. That way we have fellowship one with another, okay? Now, 2 Corinthians chapter 6, 14 and 15 talks about what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness, what fellowship has light with darkness, okay? That's important. We can't walk with people and grow with people that are walking in darkness while we're trying to walk in light with God. That shows that you are outgrowing somebody, but that does not mean that they can't grow with you. They have to make that decision, okay? Number 2, this is a big one. Walking with wise people versus walking with fools. Remember in Proverbs 13, it says the wise are going to walk with the wise, but he who walks with the companion of fools suffers harm, all right? So we can't grow and with people that are foolish. We outgrow those people due to maturity level and the truth and the character of their situation, okay? Number 3, if your spirit craves traits of righteousness, but someone else's spirit craves wickedness. Proverbs 22:24. One example is you can't make friends with a hot-tempered person, okay? Because if their traits craves wickedness, but you crave righteousness, that it means that you have to go a different path. You outgrow somebody that is craving wickedness while you're trying to crave righteousness, okay? And number 4, living in God's truth versus the devil's lie. Romans 1:28, it talks about, strong delusions can make someone believe a lie. You can't grow with people that don't accept God's truth, all right? You outgrow people that want to live in delusion. And you have a lot of people that live in delusion, and you cannot grow with those type of people, okay? So go back through this video. This is a very good topic for anybody to learn. This is Carlos from the Church of Christ channel.